All right, guys, welcome into the Vitality Handbook. You know what time it is. We're going to dig deep today. So we're going to talk about recovery. So we're talking about the physical realm. What are we going to do with recovery here? Now, when we're talking about recovery, we want to think about what is the most scientific approach that you can do, right? Because we want everything based on research, right? Now, when we're talking about the science of recovery, the three most important things I believe, in our opinion, is to be able to assess what type of recovery you need, right? Are you a boxer? Are you a swimmer? What type of recovery do you need? There's so many different types of recovery. It doesn't mean one type of recovery is better than the other. What works for you, for your specific task, your goal, right? What we're talking about is have some type of assessment of what you need first, what type of recovery you need, right? What type of system you're going to use, what type of program you're going to use. Do you need a program? Right? When are your rest days? When are your recovery days? Are they the same thing? So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that subject. So once you assess what type of assessment you need, what type of mobility that you need, right? If you're tight, if your body is not moving quite right, you know if it's not right, right? You need to restore your movement. So once you have a program that you can apply to that assessment, then you do that program. Then you have the discipline for that. Then from that discipline, you have that mastery, right? So we have that mastery of movement, whatever it is, mastery of boxing, mastery of powerlifting, whatever that is, it's going to help optimize that mastery of movement when you have an actual restorative movement approach, recovery. So let's talk a little bit deeper on that point. When you're talking about recovery, we'll pass this to Nick, to pass it to Dre. What are the things you like to highlight?
Honestly, I wanted to talk about my experience with, number one, I think I wanted to definitely mention that out of all the pillars, I think we're going to eventually find ourselves naturally drawn to become specialists in one of the
Pillars of vitality, mindset,
vitality.
sleep. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
And so I wanted to I think the recovery pillar is where you're definitely a specialist. And then this is going back to how you also work with PTs.
Myself.
You.
Okay, yes, for sure. Yes.
This is not only, but you can be a specialist in many things. It doesn't have to be one pillar.
Right.
But in this case, I think, as far as you asking me what I would highlight, is probably just questions to you, because you're, number one, you coach PTs.
Okay.
Who a lot of people, that's their first line of defense when it comes to, I need recovery.
Right.
I got injured, or I have this tightness. I need to go to PT now.
Right.
That's their first line, right?
Right. True.
If you're coaching PTs, which is a good thing, right? It takes.
I love PTs.
It takes experience, expertise to get to that.
Yes.
To be able to coach PTs. It's really more about that becoming your the accolade, and on the second part of why I want to ask questions when it comes to me getting past the mic is because you also were injured, right? So what kind of questions can I ask you? This is warm-up talk, but what kind of questions can I ask you when it comes to your experiences coaching PTs plus being injured, and being and recovering? And so basically what I want to say is to everybody is, you have athletes. Most of the Instagram famous people you see, they're just taking, I don't want to say just, okay? They're using the 3E method, their education, their expertise, and the experience.
It's a pretty cool method. Who came up with that?
It's a great method.
I think we did.
PBS. We're making things as a company now. But they use what they experienced in college by their coaches, and they take those exercises over to the mainstream media.
Correct.
And it's, of course, like, college sports is popular, so who doesn't want to see those movements?
It looks good on camera, looks good on Instagram. These are very popular movements. Fantastic.
So what I want to, I'll make my ideas tighter in an actual run, but basically I want to highlight that if you have an athlete, a high-level D1 athlete, right?
D1, yeah, Division 1, yeah.
So if you have a high-level athlete, and then let's say you have a D1 athlete, and I'll circle all this back to recovery. You have a D1 athlete coming in to start coaching other people, okay? Never got injured. How that person's going to be coaching everybody else is going to be a lot different compared to
because they have an experience of having an injury and then recovering from that injury.
What you did, you got injured at the combine, I believe, and
my first injury was at the combine.
Because you didn't have a proper recovery pillar
I didn't have the proper sleep. I didn't have the proper nutrition. I didn't have the proper mindset. I didn't have any of that
when
stuff.
we zoom in on the recovery pillar, you didn't have the right. Yeah, you had some bad habits or maybe not enough discipline in the other pillars, but in the recovery pillar, you didn't have the proper discipline or the programming. And so through
I had it, I just didn't do it. So shout out to my mentor, Tony.
There we go.
So I want Tony to watch this and be like, yo, I didn't have it. No, I had.
Okay.
No, there's no excuse. Listen,
So
when athletes injure themselves when it's not on the field and it just happens in training, you have to take responsibility for it. So that's the first thing. When I got injured, the first thing I had to do was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Right? I tore my TFL, level 3 strain. I tore my pec from the humerus, gone. The whole thing was gone. It was gone, just dangling. How did this happen? I quickly went into my training like, my mentor told me to do this, 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 this. Did you do it? Nope, 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 nope. I was doing a competition. I was dehydrated. I had very low sodium. Do you know what sodium and calcium, those minerals that you need for your joints and your tendons?
Just for contraction.
I don't have any fluid, synovial fluid around my joints that need mobilization, so it's brittle. So if something's brittle, if you have a rubber band, it stretches, but it's brittle, it's gonna pop. That's what happened. So you see this in the industry all the time. So I had to check myself. I had to go to my mindset, okay, I messed up. What pillar, because at that point I already had the pillar system, so I said, what pillar did I mess up on? I already had all this. Pillar system was there 2009 when I came to Los Angeles. That's when I developed it. Pillar system was there. I wasn't applying all of it. Do you see what I'm saying? I did not have the discipline to apply all of it. I did enough to look good and step on stage. I did enough to show people my dominance as an athlete, but it wasn't all put together. I didn't put it all together until just recent.
Yeah.
And that's just the honest truth.
Love it. Love it. That's what you want.
Yeah. That's just the honest truth. So Dre, we're gonna pass it on to you. Man, that's crazy, Nick. I mean, what do you think about recovery? Do we even need it? Should we just work out all the time, no recover?
You won't make any progress if you don't recover. Simple. You're going to get injured. You're going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued. Okay. Simple as that. That simple.
So progress won't happen. Is it because?
Number one, you won't have the energy to put in to your next workout. Yes. Basically.
Yes.
I want to be devil's advocate and be like, nah, I could just take pre-workout.
But that's false energy. That's pseudo energy. That's not real energy. You have chemicals to put energy in.
So and now you don't feel anything when you're lifting, so you don't know if something is about to snap. So you like work. You don't know. You don't feel because you're working off a pair. Like there's something in these workouts. I mean, they have certain supplements in these workouts where basically kind of you could say numb the body.
Mostly drugs, bro.
Yeah, it's drugs.
They're mostly drugs. So basically the difference between a lot of these high level chemical based pre-workouts and then just steroids. Steroids actually gives you the benefit of true strength. Your tendons don't get stronger. That's why people snap things as bodybuilders. But this pre-workout gives you nothing. You might as well have coffee, or I get a 5-hour energy shot. Just go straight to the source with all these chemicals.
But with the pre-workout, they do have things in there that actually does work.
Caffeine.
Right? No, the caffeine, but the beta-alanine, no, that works.
No, but that's not the pre-workout. That's beta-alanine. Do you see what I'm saying? So those are different. So we're talking about when someone says we have, and that's the whole I love this. So we're talking about supplements on recovery. So having supplements is part of the recovery.
I want to go into
the
thing that I'm taking.
Yes, I love it.
And so with the pre-workout is, I hear what you're saying but it's still not if you take out and you just buy now supplements. Yes. You buy the supplements on its own. Beta-alanine, creatine is one of the most scientific. But make sure when you take the creatine, make sure you put in the work for it. Just don't be taking 5 to 10 grams of creatine and not actually putting it to use.
And then what is creatine? So let's go on to creatine. So we're talking about creatine phosphate, right? This is your body naturally develops creatine the first 0 to 6 seconds. That's what creatine phosphate is. The anagen phosphate system.
What if you're undernourished though? Your body's not.
Oh, I mean, you don't actually. If you don't have nutrients, especially micronutrients, you're gonna snap.
I'm thinking of the scenario where someone's undernourished, right? Because they're not eating right for their body type. They just don't have self-awareness, and then they take creatine to train. I'm just thinking.
It's just energy. You're gonna have to deal with it. So either you're gonna have bubble guts, or you're gonna kind of get fired up and then you crash. It's like if you have coffee, if you have a little bit of caffeine, you know, I'm not anti-coffee, you know, the taste, but if you're a coffee addict, then terrible. I need at night, terrible. But if you have a little stimulant, it's fine if you're going to use it.
Exactly. Put it to use.
If you're going to use it. So if you're really muscular, or you're a mesomorph, or you're at your peak level of athleticism.
So you're on a training program.
You're on a training.
Not just working out. On a training.
If you're already doing these things and you have them, they can be useful. So when you see people say, why do you take the supplements? No, you don't understand because they're working hard. They have to supplement because their normal nutrition is for a normal person. We're not normal.
Exactly. So you basically...
We're not normal. And if you're an athlete, if you want to be a high performer, being a high performer is not normal. It's high. That means it's above normal.
It means you can't drink after a workout.
For real, you can't.
And be social, right? Because that's going to mess up your recovery.
You can be social. You can't drink. You can't drink.
You can be social. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But do you have the discipline and the willpower to leave out of the gym after, let's say you do eat a good meal or take a shake or whatever you take after that, right, helps you. You go and you're going to meet your friends. Do you have the willpower when they say, hey, come on, man, why you being, man, you think this is all, da-da. No, I don't want it. Please don't, I'm good. I don't want it. I'm going to just eat this. Do you have the discipline to do that? Because you still could do whatever the hell you want to do, but do you have the discipline when you go meet up with your friends, the people that are doing those things? Do you have the willpower to say, no, come on, man, you just worried or just like, I would say, trying to force it on you without, I don't know the right, you know?
That happens to me all the time. I mean, I go out, people see me dancing, all this other, be like, oh yeah, I must do it. No, bro, I come in like, oh, let's go. That's it. But that's energy. You see what I'm saying? So having a social aspect, you definitely will, but it's part of mastering yourself. You got to have some type of social connection with the community, right? But what we're saying is that when you're there and you're socializing, what are you doing? Are you abusing yourself? Are you recovering? Right? So if you're abusing yourself, then there's no way you're going to recover.
So if you get to the restaurant, right, your friends is eating XYZ. They come in with the bread. Oh, you sure you don't want, and they force it on you. Sure you want this olive oil? You don't want this bread? Like all that, before the meal even come, before you're getting your meal, they're already freaking stuffing you, right? But it's bread and just a bunch of junk, right? Right? Or you can have that, but do you have the discipline to say, you know what? I'm just going to eat a little bit just to have a taste, just to satisfy myself. Simple as that. You can do that. That's moderation.
But Hughes, the big thing is, you see how he looks? He's putting in the work, so he's afforded to. Now, don't be mad. If you look like this, you are afforded to have those cheats. You are afforded to. You have to understand yourself.
Be smart.
It's all about yourself. My recovery is different from Nick's recovery than his recovery. Everybody's recovery is different, but once you find your recovery and you've made your character the best it looks, you're recovering. If your character is the build, the proof is in the pudding. You can't tell me I'm recovering enough and you look like trash. You can't tell me you're recovering enough and you're always tired. You're injured, hurt. You have to be honest with yourself.
You and Dre talking basically helped me summarize the idea that everything that people talk down on, or they're maybe scared of when it comes to any fitness, whether it's fitness professional or not even fitness professional, anybody who starts on that journey and to make a transformation, go through a transformative experience, and they're hesitant because of, I still want to be able to go out and enjoy myself.
Right.
I still want to be able to do this.
Right.
When you think about it, everything that they're hesitant about has to do with the responsibility for recovery. And that's something that's doesn't have any light on it.
Yeah.
Basically, what you guys were saying was you have a responsibility to recover as part of you need a recovery program, not just a training program.
Period.
You need a recovery program, not just training. Everything outside of the gym, technically, is recovery.
That's fire. Yeah, everything outside the gym. As soon as you leave the gym, you're supposed to be thinking recovery. Nothing else. I'm trying to recover so tomorrow I could train or whatever your active recovery, whatever it is.
Thinking like,
you're trying to recover.
So recovery pillar, because of what you were saying, what y'all was saying, basically, as soon as you step out the gym or any time outside of the gym, it's all about recovery. So that's what's looked down upon by society. Oh, he just lives in the gym. Or how come
he doesn't enjoy his life, or he's too disciplined? Is it?
But because that's
the people that are in shape are enjoying the lives the most. Let's just stop it. Look at him. You don't think he's enjoying looking like this? You don't think they enjoy looking like this, feeling like an athlete, energy? You're a man. You're a woman. Come on. You don't enjoy that? or you enjoy feeling terrible, sluggish, fat, you know it's hurting you. You know it's hurting you. So let's just cut it. Let's cut it. Recover or suffer. That's it. Pay for it now, or you pay for it later. You're going to pay. Everyone has a credit card, and you're cashing that credit card every day. You will pay. Some people run out of money in their account.
I like that analogy. Yeah. Because you can say as soon as you basically, you paying from that balance when you're in the gym training, you paying from that balance. So as soon as you step out, do you want to go back to making money, or you're going to stay fucking in the
You're going in debt. Think about you're going in debt. Every time you have something that's terrible, you're going into a deficit. You have to recover from that terrible thing. Now, if you do it, go ahead.
I wanted, because when he said money, right? In the urban community, what we say when you step, you getting that money. That's money. Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
Let's build on that, because if you're talking about get that money, and what he's explaining, get that money, meaning you're paying dividend to yourself. It's not like someone's giving you cash. But wealth is health. You've heard that before. I don't care how much money you have, what status you are in how many likes, how many whatever, how many subscribers you have, please subscribe. But we don't care. We don't care about that. That's not going to show you your value. Your value is your health as a human being. So you
at your highest ability. That's funny. That's what you want to do. You want to function.
Now, if you guys don't want to function at a high ability, please leave in the comments and we can have that discussion. But as far as I know, people want to actually feel good, look good. It's demonized to being disciplined. Why are people demonized being disciplined?
That's the topic.
You're not going to make me feel bad because I look good, because I care about my health. No, okay? Okay, you're not going to make me feel bad about that.
That's the perfect word, because on the topic we're on, if you think about it, it's a good segment after we talk.
We need to just keep this. We need to just keep this.
Hold on.
We're just going. I think we want to keep this.
Yes, and just put an intro on top of it.
That's what we're doing. That's what I was like.
Hold on. I definitely want to talk about this.
Okay.
You guys making me look at things in a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's what I like about this show, guys. I'm sorry. That's what I like about this show, because we're learning with each other. So if we're learning, you guys got to be learning. Come on. If we're learning.
Shut it down.
Come on, Dre. I like that.
Come on, man.
Hold on. I thought about not getting
He want to get his frame. I saw him. He was like, let me just sit back there.
I don't want to mess up
camera frame.
Come on, man. Multitasking. Multi.
So this is a way to kind of, if we are going to be using this to connect with our community.
Right.
Listen, there's a quick summary. I literally said, let's hold off on this conversation because I was asking Yao, what are the 3 pillars of recovery?
Right.
And I was like, as he was asking me, as he was telling me, I was like, hold on. This is literally how I learned as far as, mentorship. This is how I use mentorship. This is why I've been able to see success or create a better response to my failures or mistakes in the game. Because I literally asked, what are the 3 pillars? Why did you come up with them? And I was like, hold on, let's just put this on camera. But to circle back, everything we said, technically, it made me realize. I'm trying to. Before I say this, I want to spice it up. All right. I know I'm not trying to make it long.
Okay.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Trying to spice it up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. When it comes to discipline, of course, it takes discipline to be in the gym and be focused and being able to turn on that switch. But technically, it's like I'm thinking in my social circles or my social events that's when I hear the feedback of, not from everybody, but sometimes you hear people, okay, you're too disciplined. Why are you taking this too serious? Or why are you take maybe, and the mantra, don't take life so seriously.
Right.
But, so basically, everything we're talking about, it came down to me realizing, wait a minute, recovery is technically demonized by anybody who's.
That's true.
Because they don't understand what recovery is.
Being at the gym, soon as you finish with your workout, put your water in it and whatever, let's say you have a shake, whatever you take after, whatever your supplement stack is, whatever you take after workout for your recovery, right? Juice Plus, greens. Are you even taking anything, right? Are you even
You're a
taking
high
it?
performer,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
taking
yeah. So basically, you're doing that, right? Someone to come up to me and say, man, what are you putting in there? Like, why are you doing that after? Like, hold on, you mean to tell me you're asking me that? And you supposedly is this high level coach? You're asking me that. You're really, and you're demonizing it? And you're supposed to be a coach? I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, let's go. Let's go.
Finish off. Come on, man.
Now I felt that.
I wanna.
Are you a professional?
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna organize ideas real quick.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna organize it real quick because I've been. Yeah, that's fire. Fire.
Ah.
So basically, what I wanted to circle back with, this is a recovery pillar talk,
Okay.
and I'm real. Basically, this took a hard turn because it's like, wait a minute. We're gonna talk about. Obviously, if you have a training program, you need a recovery program.
Yes.
Okay, boom.
That was fire.
With these conversations, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, from a social perspective, if you're someone trying to transform your whole body, after you get your training discipline down, after you go through the, mindset work to become disciplined with the gym, then you got to go through the next struggle, which is, I think, even has more demons to battle from society when you got to prioritize your recovery.
That's integration. How do you integrate recovery into the
harder
social
than
aspect? Of course it is. Anybody can come in the gym and just do it. Anybody can just come in the gym. This is why the pillar system is so. We go mindset, sleep, nutrition, recovery, then exercise. We put exercise after recovery because on the orders of operations, recovery is more important, in my opinion. This is why we have that structure.
And now that you talk about your opinion, I want to circle back to the first point that I said I was going to circle back to was, I want to ask you, what did you learn
From the injury?
From the injury? Because that is an advantage, I think, personally, as a coach, for all those athletes out there who transition into coaching.
Right.
What do you think is that pivotal difference between an athlete who transitions to coaching others who've never gotten injured and fixing themselves properly? Because a lot of people get injured
and they don't.
That was what the appealing thing to me. Number one, I spent thousands on PTs. It didn't work for me. I got a terrible injury. I couldn't walk for like 3 months. Yeah, the RHM program literally fixed me. Okay, so the proof is in the pudding. And now I'm at a higher level than I was. If anybody watching this knows me, you know my athleticism was trash. They used to, listen, it was trash.
But now you're a complete athlete. So the biggest thing, to answer your question, the biggest thing that I can give to you guys, the viewer, is having gone through these injuries of tearing my hip flexor, right? Of having chronic plantar fasciitis,
Hold that
of
thought.
having
D1 athlete. D1 athlete. Florida.
Yeah, so I played at Florida State University. I ran track and field there, and I played football there. All right.
Okay, D1.
Division I.
That's important.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay.
Because you're going hard.
I agree.
You're going hard.
All right. So yeah. Okay. So Division I. If anybody knows Florida State University, you can check them out. We've been on top for a while. So coming from that high level, high performer aspect, I only say just to paint the picture of being a high performer, right? Now, as being a high performer, going through a litany of injuries that are debilitating. I'm talking about level 3 strain TFL, complete tear in my pec and pec minor and pec major, where it came off the humerus and was hanging down. I reconstructed myself. Now, I love PTs. I train them. I coach them. I've coached them for years, right? But to be able to truly restore your movement, it's different from saying, okay, I can get elbow flexion. Now I can just do this with my elbow. Okay. Well, now can you integrate that into a punch or to a pull?
Yes.
Right? Can you lift something? Can you build something? Right? And that's true integration. That's when we talk about restoring your movement patterns. That's the thing that I got was from my injury, I learned how to restore my movement patterns of just trying to connect the mechanical. My shoulder was fixed by the ortho. I researched to get a great doctor. He connected the chest back to the humerus. But now I have to build that chest.
You're not done yet.
See, look, let me go.
But now I have to build it. Now I have to build it back. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how I have to build it. And that comes from properly having a program for recovery.
Now, like you said, Also, too, I'm gonna go in on this. It was perfect because that's what I wanted to say. Now, right, the mobility and all that stuff. Also, too, what you have to do. So this is the program. You got to have your mobility program, recovery. We spoke about that, right? You also too you have to build the muscle around the tendons, the joints, and all of those things like that, right? So as far as building the muscle, so let's say so what did you have to build to? What's the process? What as far as muscle? What you had to build around it? A part you had to work on the most to actually help protect.
So I was a sprinter, and I was also a bodybuilder. Right at that stage when I tore it, I was doing decline press. If you know anything about decline press, it puts a lot of pressure on the pec minor. So this right here to give it a little bit of science.
For anyone, or honestly, I'm gonna say articles as well. Look at my guy chest. The Lord, he said decline from doing decline, right? It build the lower sweep of his chest. So don't say decline presses do not work. I'm just saying I got to get that out there. Now
Yeah, so I mean, I had a pretty massive chest right now. If you guys know me, LA, you know, I've kind of gone down a little bit. I still kind of got my leanness. Come on now, but it's not as massive now. I'm just now building back up. So what I had to do is I had to build my lower chest. So once it snapped, once the pec minor and pec major snapped from the humerus, they put it way up. So they go 2 titanium pins on the humerus. They put it way up there because it's harder to build the upper chest. For all my bodybuilders out there, anybody knows, all my guys out there, it's hard to build your upper chest. So what they did is they reconstructed it high up on the humerus. So you see this upper chest here, this one's a little bit lower. Plus my scoliosis, I also have S-curve scoliosis. I was born with it, so I've connected RHM, just get that. So that's basically what I did. So I had to build my lower chest on this side and build my upper chest. So when I had that injury, I had to do everything with this side. I had to relearn how to use this. Right? And by doing that, I created an overuse injury here. So usually when you get injured, especially if it's a unilateral injury, that just means you got injured on one side of your body and not on both sides, right? You have to build and fight against the imbalance. So I say once I was building that muscle, I had to fight against the imbalances posteriorly. So all of my posterior muscles put me in this position here. So I had to build up my back and my shoulders. Then my chest started developing. I just now, out of, I would say, this happened in 2011, 2012, somewhere around that. Kind of forget it. It was a horrific accident. I try to get that out of my head. But whenever that happened, it just took me now. It's 2021, right? That's a long time. I'm just now building back. So you have to have the discipline and the focus day after day. You're like, oh, my shoulder hurt. I went to PT. And I just stopped. Or my shoulder hurt, and I went to a coach. He was doing some stuff, some corrective work. We'll get on corrective exercise. It's really restoring your movement, but it didn't work. You have to be, if you tore something that's horrific. You got to really put in the discipline to kind of get that back. So to answer your question, that's what I had to build. I had to build a lower chest on this part, get more stability and strength in my back, get my shoulders back, and then I was able to build my chest.
Back, the upper back muscles, all of those things, right? So it's funny that he said that. He said he had to build muscle. But go ahead. Yeah.
That was perfect.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, this is a good flow. I feel like it's one of the best flows. It's because we all have the warrior spirit out.
Yeah.
Nice and early. We got a great workout in before this, and it's crazy. The recovery is really the hardest thing about. Think about it. Like that's why people aren't seeing the results.
All right, guys, we're gonna get into this time of our YouTube where we're gonna talk about rapid fire. Right. So we're gonna have some questions firing out. Things that you guys might want to know about. Let's get that off your chest. Nick, give it to me.
Yeah, question real quick. Question.
All right.
I know there's an advantage. Basically, this is why I'm mining. I'm trying to find the gems in this Black Panther, the wizard, because the same way I did with Dre, like I'm just constantly trying to find gems. You know, that's an important thing to do. Use your circle, find the gems, and then come up together. Right?
Facts.
But
yeah,
for sure, definitely want to ask you, because I know there's an advantage, that's a perfect situation. Be a D1 athlete, get injured, rebuild yourself. Now you have the awareness of the high-performing training side and the high-performance recovery program side.
That's my journey.
Your journey.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you didn't have that recovery program, you wouldn't be here.
Period.
So having that experience, D1 level performance, and getting injured and and having to recover yourself. Remember, that takes 90% of people out the game. They don't ever come back.
Yeah.
So
Never
the fact
come
that you came back and you still obviously disciplined to carry you forward. That's the most I find. That's why I said, okay,
right,
we got to do some work, because that is the most advantageous perspective and experience. You got to learn from that. So as far as why I'm coming up or why I'm successful, I owe it to both these guys right here. But that's why, right? So why do you think that advantage exists, or what would be your message to the public? I mean, I'm just trying to say. All I wanted to say was that's a very powerful advantage.
Right.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So what do you think that responsibility is, or what do you think that power is?
I think that responsibility is given to all of us. And this is why I have the saying, you guys have heard me, I'm gonna say it again. We're all given the responsibility every single day to heal or destroy ourselves. So I put that responsibility on myself, I put that on you, I put that on all of us. We have the responsibility to heal ourselves. It's not just me saying that. I actually believed it when these injuries happened. It is on me to do it. So I gathered that discipline, developed a program around that, and this is what we're doing. That program was upgraded by Mr. Nicholas Lopez Jr., by Andre, our team. So what we're giving you right now, I think that's the biggest thing I want to put out there, is that you have to have a team, right? And my team helped me recover my business. I'm just gonna be honest, right? Right? You recovered from your injury. You just told me now he's boxing shoulders. I mean, look at his arms, man. Look at his chest.
I had a bad injury.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the basic thing. All of us had injuries. So the 3 method, right? How do you master your experience, right? How do you grow from your experience, right? How do you grow from your own education, right? And then you become an expert. Now you have an expertise. So I think that's the biggest thing, is when you have a program that you've mastered, now you're an expert in it. Now you have the education because you've studied, you understand your body, you're more aware. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you have the experience. And I think that's it. So me having the experience of that injury connected all my 3 E's. I had the education, but I wasn't injured. I had the expertise because I was in the books. I'm a nerd, the wizard.
No, but you had the D1 level.
Yes.
Yep, that experience.
I had the D1 level experience, but then I had the experience of getting injured critically. It was small nicks and tacks here as I was playing football and running track. But the injuries came after I was in that very disciplined regimen of being a D1 athlete. Once I got out of that D1 athlete environment, I didn't have that discipline. The D1 athletes, they ingrained me with that discipline. I woke up at 6 a.m. every time. They made my breakfast. They made me get a smoothie. I had lifting at 6:30. I went to class at 8 o'clock. I went to class all the way to 1:30. Then I had study hall. After study hall, I had practice. After practice, I had to go study. And after studying, we had to lift again and roll and recover. That was the next thing. I did that for 5.5 years through college.
I was going to say that, okay, he also has experience in once he leave, right, from that discipline, right, of being on the team to actually now having to rediscipline himself to do it on his own now. I could go and touch and go more, but we'll leave it at that.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
No, I think let's throw the Dre. So you want to ask another question?
I want to ask
okay, boom.
To Dre.
Are you gonna ask a question? Okay.
Listen, I'm not trying to take the host away from.
No, I love it. Come on, man.
Let's go.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna be like that. I'm gonna have one. It's gonna be like that.
Y'all's the best host in the world.
Yeah, man. Let's go, man. We know that. We know that. We know that. Let's go.
Let's see. Why do you think? What happened in the industry? We just spoke about recovery being demonized, and I'm thinking about it like everything, even how, let's say a famous celebrity gets on a magazine, looks ripped, he finished a program that probably had a recovery program too, right? But what they push is a training program only. Why do you think? What will it take for recovery, for people to realize that recovery is really the secret?
It's gonna take us. That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take us. Let's get into it.
Let's go, man.
Wrap it up, man. Wrap it up.
Listen, again.
Come on, man.
This is wind down. This is table talk.
Where my mic at?
This is table talk. The mic was dropped. Listen, again, you're all given the opportunity to do this. We're not the only ones. We give you this information. You can watch this and you can say, whatever. But until you actually experience it, until you actually put yourself through that grind and recovery from that grind and see your body transform, we're talking about transforming experience. Have you actually had a transformational experience which change you to the core? Have you had that? Now you have an opportunity to have that. Just listen to what we're saying. That's it.
Have you been injured and instead of taking a back seat and saying I'm out the game forever, I can't train my clients anymore, I can't do this, I can't.
Yep.
Have you been injured and come back even better?
And say I can.
It can.
Replace can't with can.
That's it.
Have you gone to that?
Listen, we just urge you, choose wisely, choose to heal your body. As always, let's get into it.